Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Earlier today, a friend of mine asked me a question which I thought maybe you guys could help me answer. And his question was simple. Lee, why is it that for the first time we are seeing defections from government to opposition? Because previously we were used to seeing people defecting from the opposition to government. Why is that happening? I could not answer that because this guy asked me this question after Aisha Jumwa officially defected from UDA to Linda Mwananchi.
Aisha Jumwa Karisa Katana is no longer a member of the United Democratic Alliance, UDA.
So my question is, why are we seeing a lot of defections from government side to the opposition? Is that sending some message to Kenyans? Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to talk about this defection of Aisha Jumwa to Linda Mwananchi.
This decision is not an act of anger. It is an act of concern. It is a decision born out of love for Kilifi, faith in its people, and unshakable belief that our county deserves leadership that listens, serves, and delivers.
If you paid very close attention to Aisha Jumwa, she actually gave reasons why she's defecting.
Na leo kwani wewe ni nani? Wewe ni rais katika taifa hili ambaye nilikupenda nikakufanyia kampeni na nikakubeba peke yangu kabla wale wanaosema wanakushawishi wewe kunisaliti mimi. Kwa hivyo leo wewe ni rais, mimi hata kazi ya kufegia katika serikali yako sina.
For those who might have forgotten, Aisha Jumwa was initially one of the most loyal supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga. Then during the last election, Aisha Jumwa shocked the entire country when she defected from ODM party to UDA party.
Sheria ya chama cha ODM mwenye kutunga sio Sifuna. Mheshimiwa SG, kwa heshima zote mahali ulipofikia hautaweza kuendelea. Kwa heshima zote mahali ulipofikia, hatuko hapa kusikia masuala ya chama cha ODM, tuko hapa kwa mazishi kumfariji Kingi. Hatuwezi heshimu wa Mijikenda.
Asante sana kwa heshima hiyo uliotupatia kama Wamijikenda. Tunajivunia tuko nyumbani na tuko hapa kufariji familia na sio jambo lingine. Vyama tafuta forum.
She lost in her bid of becoming the governor for Kilifi. Then William Ruto appointed Aisha Jumwa to the cabinet. And then after the Gen Z protest, Aisha Jumwa became one of the casualties of the Gen Z protest. And Aisha Jumwa was later on appointed by William Ruto to some boards there. But when you think Aisha Jumwa has finally decided to officially defect from UDA to Linda Mwananchi?
Na nikamwambia ya kwamba umenihumiliate vya kutosha. Umenifunga vya kutosha. Na labda kama huna habari, nimefukuzwa katika ikulu kwa sababu viongozi wa pwani walikuwa wamekuja kukuona. Na nikakuandikia message na hakuna vile ulinijibu. Nimekuwa humiliated. Hata wewe mwenyewe ukija Kilifi ni kama haunijui tena. Your Excellency, kuniahidi tena mimi kwamba nikufanyie campaign ndio uje unipe cabinet slot, wakati wewe leo ni rais na mimi nimepitia yote yaliyo magumu katika serikali yako bila hata usaidizi. Imenichukua muda sana kuyavumilia yote haya. na mpaka mwisho ni leo umenisacrifice mara nyingi kwa neno moja tu, look at the bigger picture.
That's exactly what I want us to analyze in this video. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, Aisha Jumwa has made this move because number one, the Kilifi gubernatorial race. Currently, Gideon Mungaro is the governor for Kilifi. He was elected on ODM party ticket. We all know that Aisha Jumwa contested against Gideon Mungaro on UDA party. As we speak, UDA and ODM are working together. And ODM are pushing for zoning. If ODM were to zone Kilifi, what's going to happen is that Aisha Jumwa will not have a chance to contest. And I doubt if Aisha Jumwa can go back to Malindi as a member of parliament. So for me, I think Aisha Jumwa has decided, let me go for the governor. But the only way of me going for the governor is through another party, which is Linda Mwananchi. And Linda Mwananchi becomes the best option for her because it has that relationship with ODM party. So Aisha Jumwa is definitely going to work with most of the people he previously worked with in ODM party. So I think in her own mind, she believes that based on the current political situation in the country and the fact that Kilifi has always remained ODM's stronghold, probably she believes that she can challenge Gideon Mungaro under Linda Mwananchi, but through the support of ODM, formerly ODM supporters, because Linda Mwananchi is predominantly breakaway from ODM. So for me, it's about the Kilifi gubernatorial race, and she was very clear on this.
My fellow residents of Kilifi, I urge you to remain peaceful, united, and hopeful. Let us reject division, embrace one another, and continue this journey with dignity and courage.
Number two, Aisha Jumwa feels that William Ruto betrayed her. And from her tone, you could clearly tell that this woman is really disappointed. But sometimes, I don't know, do you think William Ruto betrayed Aisha Jumwa? Because let us be honest, when Aisha Jumwa was appointed to the cabinet, most Kenyans didn't want that. When Gen Z's forced her out, Kenyans really celebrated, especially the young people. When Aisha Jumwa was then appointed to chair that board, I think is it Kera or Kura? Again, Kenyans were not very happy. They were like, that position ought to have gone to an engineer. But today I've seen the celebrations, especially by the young people who support Linda Mwananchi. But Aisha Jumwa feels that William Ruto betrayed her. And that, she's very clear that, wewe saini rais, but mimi hata kazi ya kufagia sina. Which means, as a board member, they serve for term for 3 years. Aisha Jumwa's term as the chair of that board has actually come to an end. Probably the president refused to renew. Which means if that appointment had been renewed, probably she'll be having a job and she might not be making noise. But Aisha has that feeling. You could tell from her speech that she's been betrayed. I don't know what she really expected to happen. Number three, and this is something which ODM party and others should start accepting. I've been privileged to meet several ODM leaders in the past few weeks. Several of them, at least 4 or 5 MPs. They normally dismiss Linda Mwananchi. But the truth is, Linda Mwananchi is gaining traction. And the wave is actually sweeping across the country. This is what has attracted Aisha Jumwa. to that camp. Because apart from that wave, Linda Mwananchi are also doing something. They're actually reaching out to people. I knew about this Aisha Jumwa thing, and I can also report to you that one of the gubernatorial candidates in Kisumu is also headed to Linda Mwananchi. That's the fact. They're reaching out. They're looking at the gaps and the opportunities, and they're convincing people to join. So probably these guys also reached out to Aisha Jumwa. I'm closely monitoring Jicho Pevu. Will he stick with Wiper, or will Jicho Pevu also join Linda Mwananchi? Because if you look at the politics of Mombasa, it mirrors that of Kilifi. ODM is the predominant party, but ODM is now splitting into two. Then now you can add these other support bases. So Linda Mwananchi wave is sweeping. Number 3, is it number 4, it's also possible that William Ruto is now using all tricks to infiltrate this camp. Just like I used to ask you about Malala and why Malala would, of all the people, fall out with Ruto. Or if there was anything you knew which would make Ruto and Malala fall out, you could not tell me. Aisha Jumwa, of all the people, was nominated by Ruto as a CS, served as a CS. In fact, if the agencies had not protested, Aisha Jumwa would still have been a cabinet minister. Of all the people from the coast, William Ruto picked Aisha Jumwa to serve in that cabinet. Of all the people from the coastal region, Aisha Jumwa was convinced by Ruto to leave ODM. I'm 100% sure that if Aisha Jumwa had stuck with Raila Odinga, probably she would have been the governor for Kilifi. Yeah? But William Ruto convinced her otherwise. So tell me, what is it that William Ruto has done to Aisha that can make her actually leave UDA right now? For those who understand the politics of Trojan horse, I see Aisha Jumwa as one of them. And of course, my last point is, and I think I've explained it a bit, Linda Mwananchi are on a charm offense mission. They're reaching out. They're convincing people to join the camp. Aisha Jumwa is one of them. I'm told they're also planning another one in northern Kenya. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. By the way, Kalonzo Musyoka met with Edwin Sifuna. I'm not so sure whether I'll be able to do that video today. But that meeting is significant because we all know there were rumors the other day that Kalonzo was planning to ditch the opposition. But the biggest elephant in the room is between Sifuna and Kalonzo, who would pave way for the other. Because if the two were to agree to work together, they can easily send William Ruto home if they secure the support of Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, Makwiny. Bye-bye.